If you're new to this channel, my name's Chike, and I've been a gym addict for pretty much my entire life. I've had 9 years, almost a decade's worth of experience in being consistent with the gym, and I've been able to build and maintain an aesthetic and strong body as a result. And I'm here to not only teach you how to build muscle and do the exact same thing, but to also become a lifelong gym addict and have a love for the gym and a love for fitness, just like I do, even if you don't know. And that's why in this video we're going to be talking about the flow state and why that's a crucial and vital element into developing gym addiction and loving the gym. Obviously, I don't mean addiction like, you have bills to pay and you're just in the gym. Well, even if you have bills to pay and you're in the gym, that's good. But not to the point where obviously you need literal like counseling or something like that. But even then, it's better to be addicted to the gym than to being addicted to drugs or crack. Matter of fact, even if you're not addicted to drugs or crack and have no addictions, you're still better off addicted to the gym and addicted to fitness. Let's be real. You want the physique that turns heads. You want the physique that makes girls look at you or gets you matches on Tinder or something like that, right? You want a better physique. You want the confidence. You want the feeling of looking like a god with your shirt off. Well, you're not going to get to that point unless you have the mental capacity and the mindset of someone who's going to go to the gym when it's 30 degrees outside, going to go hit a workout even if he can't make it to the gym. That's going to be the guy who's framed in today's society as an addict. But that's what I'm trying to get you to. So let's talk about it. So what exactly is the flow state? That is the state in which your mind and time completely stops and you're zoned in on an activity. It's the state of what athletes call being in the zone. And what it actually is, it's the state in which you are undergoing ordering of consciousness. And ordering of consciousness is the phenomenon in which the external environment completely aligns with your internal identity. And to put that in layman's terms, if you don't understand what I just said, to put it in street terms, shit out there and shit in here are in agreement and you're focusing on your goal. And the reason why that's such an important state of mind is because it's not about being super focused and performing the best, but your brain actually craves ordering of consciousness. It's the reason why people chase dopamine. It's because those little micro enjoyments that you have in life when you eat chocolate, when you eat sweets, and the rush of opioids and dopamine and serotonin to your brain triggers a tiny little microsecond or tiny little second of ordering of consciousness. And your internal identity, which is the desire that you have for the thing that you're doing in that moment, completely align and you're completely locked in on that task like a missile. Imagine you could have that exact same feeling in the gym. And that's exactly where you see star athletes like LeBron James or even bodybuilders like Chris Bumstead or Bradley Martin. That's where these guys get to that make them become gym rats and become so fucking strong and famous. It's because they train so hard. And yes, it's mostly discipline, but they've learned to get addicted to the gym. They've learned to get to the point where even if it's a fucking rest day or a lazy day or a busy Monday, they're going to go get a pumping. And that's the exact same thing that made me successful and made me build an aesthetic body and get so strong and get so fit. It's because I always wanted to get that pumping because I had that flow state triggered every single time I hit the gym and I became addicted to that exact same feeling. And so I want to get into what exact thing can trigger flow state and your workouts and how you can be addicted to it. So another aspect of flow state that you can use to trigger it is having micro goals. So let's say you have a rock climber, right? Rock climbers often experience this flow state, and that's why when you have professional rock climbers, they oftentimes will do more dangerous challenges. But when you look at a rock climber, every single person that has a craft and is an expert in their field has micro goals. I'm going to read an excerpt from this book that I'm reading, Flow, in which I got this information from. It says, unless a person learns to set goals and recognize feedback, they won't enjoy the activity. The feedback isn't what matters. It's a symbolic message, I succeeded. That's what creates order and consciousness and strengthens the self. Having micro goals during the activity or little feedbacks that tell you that you're making progress during the duration in the middle of the activity is what actually gets you addicted and is what triggers flow and contributes to entering the flow state. For example, if you guys are gamers, you play video games, every time you beat an enemy's ass, right, you get XP from it. That tells you that you're succeeding. Every single time you get a gear upgrade and you come back stronger, that tells you that you're succeeding. That's like synonymous with the micro goals. So let's transfer this into something productive, like a rock climber. Every single time he gets a new wedge or he gets like a new grasp on a rock, he feels like he's succeeding, like he's getting better, like he's getting to the top. That's the same thing. Or maybe it's the voices of his teammates cheering him on up top and telling him to hurry up or whatever. Maybe the fact that those voices are getting louder is what triggers him and makes him feel like he's getting closer and triggers an addictive response. It's those tiny little symbolic inferences that you make within an activity that are unique to you that causes you to feel like you're gaining success. When you can frame tiny symbolic occurrences in the activity and give them meaning of success, that's what's going to cause you to enter more into something we call the flow state. And they don't exactly have to be objectively clear. They're oftentimes obvious when it comes down to things with clear goals, right? Obviously, rock climber, you get to the top. But what about bodybuilding? What about weightlifting? The goal obviously is to get big. The goal there is kind of vague, right? It's a little bit vague. But what's something that you could say is a micro goal? Well, for me, my micro goals that I've always had that's caused me to be in the flow state and has made me somewhat of a gym rat and addicted to working out and fitness is the fact that I get a pump, or it's every time I know that I've gotten one more rep in when last week I didn't get the same amount of weight. It's I don't go to the gym thinking, oh, I'm getting objectively stronger and that, oh, I'm gonna get a slightly bigger chest by like a centimeter by the end of this month. I don't think like that. What I'm hoping for, I have the hope for, oh shit, I may actually hit 125 on DB presses for 7 reps this time instead of 6 like I did last time. And if I can do that, holy shit, I'm getting stronger. And I know for sure my chest is probably getting stronger and bigger, right? And then I can get a 315 bench. Maybe this time I can get 315 for 2 next week. But it's like a slot machine. It's like dopamine. You're hoping that, oh shit, I can get that progress. Like you're chasing those little micro goals in the workout. So for you, you need to make up a micro goal. Let's have another vague example. Let's say a therapist, right? A therapist, you don't really know what the goal here, like the actual goal here is kind of vague. It's not vague, but it's kind of hard to tell when you're making progress as a therapist because you don't know. But what if a therapist accesses the flow state? How could a therapist access the flow state? Well, maybe they see tiny little expressions of realization in the patient's face. So maybe when the therapist comes in, he or she is chasing the hit of dopamine that they get by eliciting of an expression of realization in the patient's face. You get what I'm trying to say? You need to create micro goals that are measured, that can help you symbolically align that to success, and they need to be unique to you. You have to find out what works for you. What about the workout? What about the bicep curl that you're doing? That's why I say, hey, if you want to fucking train for strength, train for fucking strength. You're gonna get bigger and stronger anyway. You would maximize and be optimal with building size if you train hypertrophy. But if you genuinely can't create micro goals and micro symbols of succeeding and progress while you're doing hypertrophy and you're doing fucking 10 to 15 rep range workouts, then don't fucking do them. It depends on you because at the end of the day, it matters if you're going to come back to the gym tomorrow. It matters if you're going to stay in the gym for a month or 2 months or 3 months. That's just really going to make the change. The guy who's powerlifting and getting stronger and doing high rep range workouts is going to have a better physique than the guy who's focusing on hypertrophy and fucking quits after 1 month. But if the guy who trains hypertrophy trains for the same amount of time that the strength trainer trains, of course, the hypertrophy driven guy is going to be a lot bigger. But that's not the point. The reason you hate the gym isn't because the gym is bad or that you're not adept at hard work. You just hate effort. You've been conditioned by society that teaches men to be weak, to hate effort, and that effort is an optional thing, and that your life is completely fine without putting effort into something. In schools, they tell men that everybody's a winner because you participate. No, you're fucking not. You win when you're better than everybody else. And not only that, but social media and all these other things completely exploit your dopamine receptors and your neurobiology. They completely exploit and abuse your neurochemistry to keep you addicted and lazy and weak. You've been mentally hijacked and handicapped since the day that you've gotten a smartphone and since the day that you were put in systems in society that teach men weak ideologies. People are taught that it's okay not to move, that it's okay not to do resistance training, that it's okay to not get up and run a mile every day. But that's not how human beings naturally were. When you think of your ancestors, they were moving every single day. Human beings aren't actually meant to sit still. Even now, while I do my videos, you may not see it because the camera's not, it's kind of low, but like I move my hands every fucking 5 seconds because people don't talk like this. People don't live and exist in a still motion. They are fluid. We're fluid beings. You're taught and raised to have your dopamine exploited in every turn and to be obedient and think that you're okay anyways. But even though you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, they're still going to mentally manipulate you into thinking that you should be okay with it when you're not. Little do you know, you have this system in your brain that's willing to get you addicted to the things that are good for you, but you're so busy being addicted to the shit that's bad for you that you don't even notice. And that's why in my course, I actually teach men how to become gym addicts. I don't just show you how to build muscle because there's tons of fucking advice on the internet and on YouTube alone to build muscle. There's about a billion fucking ways that you can build muscle and get stronger and get jacked and get lean. I didn't do nothing special. I dieted right. I ate right. I ate like a king and trained hard as fuck. But it was my motivations, it was my mindset, and it was my passions that drove me to the point that I'm at now to have this lean physique, to get to the strength level that I'm at. And I tell you the truth, I'm still gonna keep fucking climbing that ladder until I'm satisfied. After my lifelong 10 years of experience, almost decades worth of experience at the gym, I realized a thing that's actually kept me going, that's the most valuable, is my brain. It's my brain that's addicted to the gym and loves being a gym rat. And so if I can do the same thing for you, you can get to the same point that I am, or maybe even surpass me. And so in my course, I actually show guys step by step to develop that passion, to develop that desire for the gym. Imagine the you that finds excuses to get out the house and go to the gym on a sunny day, and then versus the you who will go to the gym during a fucking snowstorm. So if that's interests you, go ahead, find a top link in the description. But an actionable step that you can do is find a micro goal or symbolic identity of success. Find something that means success to you in a gym, whether it be a pump or your form changing or you getting more reps or getting more weight. Have micro goals that you're paying attention to in the workout. Have something that you're chasing. Have a carrot on a stick in front of you while you're in the gym. Don't think about the physique. Focus on you chasing the carrot in your workout, and then focus on being wanting to come back for that same shit tomorrow. Access the flow state, get that order in consciousness, and learn to become a gym addict. If you want to learn more, go ahead and click on this video. Goodbye.